My mom always just told me, hey, someday you are going to burn this house to the ground. I just know it. You are going to burn this house to the ground. And I just thought, at least everybody experienced things like this. Hello, my name is Tessa, and today I'll be talking about things I thought were common, at least normal, but were ADHD trait. The first one was always losing my train of thoughts. Like, I would be thinking about something, and in just a few minutes, I would forget what I was thinking. And then I had the inability to focus on one particular task. Like, I find it impossible to do one thing at a time. Like, if I'm listening to a podcast, I must either be cleaning my room, washing the plates, or doing something else. I could not focus on one particular task. Another one was extreme sensitivity to noise and sound. Like, loud noises, high-pitched whines, some noises just drive me crazy, and I did not know why. Like, it was crazy how I hated some noises, while some music calmed me down, made me focus. I'm extremely sensitive to music. I listen to the harmony in sounds and everything, and I did not know all these were signs of ADHD. Then my inability to stand people's body warmth. Like, I hated being touched. Like, I hated being touched. It was more like I didn't like when people touched me and they had extremely warm body temperature, like that body temperature where they touch me and I feel like, okay, normally for me, I have a cold body temperature. My body is always in a cold state. So whenever people with extreme body temperature touched me, I just felt off and weird, and I hated it. Then hyperfixation on new and exciting projects. Like, that in fact, I think that is the major symptom that I should have guessed. Like, I was not aware that a sign of ADHD meant you could get this new exciting product, that's a product. What? You could get this exciting new project and you'll be excited. You'll be like, oh, you focus on it so much, you put all your time, mind, and attention. You'll be like, I can do this project for the rest of my life. I'm in love. I have found the one. And within 2 weeks, I will lose interest. Gradually, I would just find myself just losing interest, and one day I would wake up and I would pretend like that project never existed. Just gone. Disappeared. And another thing was the fact that I had mini rage meltdown when I was interrupted. Like, yesterday, I actually clapped hand at my mom. Like, I was editing a YouTube video, and then she was calling me to tell me something, and she was calling me and I didn't respond because I was so hyper fixated on that I did not want to leave what I was doing at that moment. And then she kept calling me, and I just gradually got irritated, and I kept answering her, I'm coming, and like, maybe she didn't hear me or she didn't want to hear me. And then I did not know when I just clapped my hands and told her, I'm coming. Of course, I instantly regretted it, but my regret didn't make me stop what I was doing. I had to finish what I was doing because that was the only way I could function. Like, oh my God. The next trait that I fail to recognize is the fact that I was able to find a semblance of organization in my chaotic mess of a room. Like, my room is extremely chaotic. Like, clothes all over the place, books all over the place, bags, everything all over the place. But funny enough, I know where each and everything is. Like, if somebody touches my stuff and moves it, I know. And that's what I'm always telling my mom. Don't touch my stuff. Don't move my things. Because if you move my things, I get this sense of, I get so uncomfortable. Like, my brain cannot process you moving my stuff. Like, okay, this book might be in the wrong position. It might not be where it's supposed to be. It's chaotic, but I know it's there. And when you move it, there's gonna be a problem. Okay? And then another trait was the fact that I was able to think of 1 million things at the same time. Like, my brain seemed to function at high speed. Like, I'll be thinking about this, and somehow my brain got overheated, yes, but I couldn't stop. Like, I'll be thinking of this, in next second I'm thinking of this, like, it was a little too much for my brain, and it made me suffer from this migraine headache once in a while. And well, there was nothing I could do about it. I didn't know it was all signs of ADHD. I just kept living my life like that, thinking, well, I guess I'm just a little different. I guess I'm not normal, I'm unique. I just told myself I was unique, but I didn't really try to like find out how or why. And I got diagnosed 2 years ago, and since then I've been finding out a lot about ADHD, and I'm always surprised. And I wake up every morning and I think, I do have ADHD. Why do I have ADHD? I'm not supposed to have ADHD. I mean, it's hard. It's really, really hard, man. It's really, really hard. Okay, another trait that I actually ignored was extreme sensitivity to personal boundaries. Like, I value my personal boundaries so much, it drives me crazy when people don't respect my boundaries. Weird, I know. Then another trait I ignored was the fact that whenever I came out of my house and I was taking out, because I took walks a lot, like everybody has known me with walks. I go crazy for walks. I love walking. I can walk for more than 1 hour and not get tired. But one thing I noticed, that whenever I took walk, I looked up a lot. Like, I studied patterns, I studied the clouds, I studied the tree, I studied the shape of the tree against the clouds. Like, it was crazy. I rather study the clouds, study everything around me, than actually look at people, try to communicate with people. Like, I was not interested. I was more interested with studying patterns and clouds than actually talking to people. Another thing I noticed was the fact that I was not like emotional, like not really emotional. I would say more like I was not like the mushy, I love you, huggy type of person. I was more emotionally distant. Not like I didn't love my family or friends, but more like I don't like hugging or talking about love. I think I'd rather just show it than actually say it. And I don't remember. I think I've only hugged my mom one time in my life, and I remember that was when she traveled and she stayed away for like a month, and when she came back I was so excited, and I think I went to hug her. Other than that, I don't remember actually ever hugging any of my family members or even saying I love you to them. I mean, I show them, I guess I show them, but I don't really do the hugging part. Emotions are difficult for me. Like, I'm an empath, yes, I show care, I can empathize, I can sympathize, but when it goes beyond that, I find it hard to process my emotions. I find it hard to be, I call it mushy, really, but anyway, that's me. The next one is thinking I had the same illness as every character I read in a book. Like, it was crazy. Like, I'll be reading a book today and I'll be like, this character was displaying signs of glaucomia or this. And then I'll be like, I have this symptom. Am I feeling this way? What do I feel? Oh, let me see my body. And somehow I'll be like projecting, like I actually have this. I don't, but I didn't know it was a thing for ADHD to actually like feel like the person that is sick, you have the same symptom, like projects the person's symptom and sickness. Oh god, that was creepy. When I found out, I was like, no. So this was why. The next thing I noticed was the fact that my brain has this weird thing of forgetting particular event like they never happened. Like, absolute wipe. Absolute, like at some point if someone came and told me this happened, and I'll be like, when? It never happened. My brain wiped that absolutely off my memory. Like, it happened so many times in my life and I never knew why. And I'm like, this never happened. I'll be so insistent, and so it got to a point where it will even start turning into rage and anger, because how can you keep telling me this happened when I have absolutely no memory of it? Even if I forgot some part of it, at least I'm supposed to remember some some part, right? How can you just tell me this happened, I did this, I did that, I said this, when I have absolutely no memory of it? And my brain kept doing that. And it, at some point, it got like a little bit alarming, because at some point when I like insist this did not happen, they will bring events, they will bring dates, they will bring like evidence that see what happened, you gave me this, and I'll be like, God, I don't remember. How? Like total wipe. And honestly, for most of this event that my brain totally wiped off, up to today, I actually cannot recall them at all. They're just gone. And I thought, okay, maybe I just forget a lot. But I did not know that was an ADHD thing too. It's crazy. And another thing was my crazy dreams. I actually made a short about that, about how vivid and crazy my dreams were. Like, I would actually be living in my dreams. Like, it would be so clear. I would think it was actually happening to me. Like, the stories, the adventures, everything vivid, the words, the faces, everything clear. And I'll be like, And I told myself one day, I'm like, seriously, if I had to write a book based on my dreams, then I'll be one of the best-selling actors in the world, because so many new adventures that I've never actually seen in the world before, and my brain will think of them and even give them a conclusion. One funny part, my brain actually continues the story the next day. Yeah. Like, okay, for example, I would have a dream this night and I'll start on an adventure, and then I'll be going and doing all those adventurous things, and then I'll wake up in the morning, I'm like, oh, that was a crazy dream. So that was a dream. And then funny enough, I'll be like, and the next day when I go back to sleep, my brain continues. Yeah, it will continue the story, try to come to a conclusion, and I'm like, what kind of brain is this? Why are you continuing from where you stopped the night before? Like, what is happening? Are you trying to tell me something? Is it like, are you trying to give me a revelation? At some point I'll start thinking, maybe this is a revelation, maybe I should do something with this dream, because why did you continue? Oh my God, it's loud. Okay, another thing was absolutely forgetting names and faces of people. Like, all the people I've met once, twice, 3 times, I forgot their names, I forgot their faces. At some point in my life, I just started telling people, guys, see, if you want me to remember your face or your name, I have to meet you more than 3 times. Like, four times is the boundary. Like, if I see you the first time, I'm not going to know your face, I'm not going to know your name. The second time, I might know your name, but I will not know your face. Maybe, I don't know. It's on probability, unless you make an impression on me. If you don't make an impression, then please don't expect anything from me. The third time, the third time is your chance to make an impression, or I forget you forever. Like, you have to do something. You have to touch me, because if not, my brain will wipe you off. Like, totally wipe you off. So I told people, look, I don't remember faces, I don't remember names. Like, unless you did something that really touched me or really moved me, or you made an impact on my brain is going to like wipe you off. And I noticed that too, especially at my job, when I meet people who come to me to solve their problem, because I work in customer care, so people come to me to solve their problem, and then I'm like interacting with them, I'm like talking to them, and then I tell them, okay, this cannot be solved today, so you meet me tomorrow and we'll continue from where we stop. And then as I'm working, as I keep working, they come in and I'm like, yes, hello, how can I help you? And they're like, yeah, you told me to come back. And I'm like, to do what? Yeah, we were talking yesterday and he told me, and I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry, but you have to remind me, and you have to tell me what you need, and you have to remind me what I was doing for you, and then tell me your name so I can go look for your file. Because honestly, every morning it's like my brain refreshes itself. The tasks and the things I did the day before, they're all gone. I'm sorry, so we have to start from the beginning. Another thing I noticed was the fact that I had meltdowns when I became overwhelmed. Like, I guess other people, I knew that was not normal, but I didn't know it was not that normal. I just thought it was the way I was made. Like, whenever I got overwhelmed, like, I'll be working and people keep bringing additional tasks and I'm tired, I'm getting overwhelmed. Like, I had mini meltdown, and it led to like mini rages or irritation. Like, I had that and I didn't know it was part of a symptom or a trait for ADHD, and I just thought it was just me. And whenever I got that overwhelmed, overloaded, I had mini meltdown, I absolutely lost efficiency and productivity. Like I cannot do anything. Like usually I'll keep trying, but it'd be like I'm doing everything and doing nothing. Like maybe if I got overwhelmed and I was like trying to click on something, click on a website, and then when I got overwhelmed and I lost my sense of what I was doing, I'll just keep moving back and forth, clicking back and forth. It'll be like I'm doing something but not doing anything. I'm just overwhelmed. Just keep clicking back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It just like it gets overwhelming, and I just thought maybe that was a me thing. That was a me thing, maybe how I coped, but I did not know that was also a sign of ADHD. And after coming to find out, I realized. And another thing I did was to always forget I was cooking. Like I'll be cooking right now, I'll put the food on the fire and I'll be cooking, and then I'll go to my room and tell myself, oh, I'll check I'll check on this in 5 minutes time, because I absolutely could not stand there cooking. I've never been able to stand there cooking and focus on cooking, because that is impossible. I'm either cooking and reading, cooking and listening to a podcast, cooking and watching a movie, or like it must be simultaneous tasks. I cannot focus on cooking and just stand there and just be like, yeah, no. Impossible. No, my mom always thought it was because I didn't want to focus on cooking. I was focusing on other things, not knowing that I absolutely could not focus on just cooking alone. I have to multitask or I'll go stir crazy. So one thing that happened to me a lot was growing up, I always burnt our meals. Like anytime I was in charge of cooking, let's just say people will be eating a whole lot of rice served with burnt stew. Or burnt rice served with fried stew. Like, God, even this morning, I burnt my food before coming to work. Like, oh God, it's crazy. Like, my mom always just told me, hey, someday you're going to burn this house to the ground. I just know it. You are going to burn this house to the ground. Because why is it that there is no time you can cook without actually burning your food? Oh God, like the worst part was I would just put the food on the fire and I'll be like, okay, I'll be back in 5 minutes. And by the time I start reading, I forget I was cooking, and I'll be reading and then I'll forget, I'm actually cooking. And then before I knew it, 30 minutes it's over, and I'm like, I've been sitting here for 30 minutes, and I'll just get up and run straight to the kitchen. And by the time I get there, guess what? Burnt food. Every single time. How? Another thing I did that I did not know was an ADHD trait was ghosting people. I'm literally a legend when it comes to ghosting. Like, sometimes it was not even intentional. Okay, like sometimes it was more like I would see their message and I'll be like, I'll respond later. Yeah, never. And then 3 days later, I'll be like, oh my God, I never responded to this message. How did I forget to respond to this message? It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. Like 3 days, you forgot to respond. And the funny part about that is the fact that notification indication drives me crazy. Like I can't stand seeing that red dots or that green dots that indicates I have notification. It drives me crazy. So why do I not actually respond back? Funny enough, later after like a few days, I'm trying to like get rid of all those notification dots, and then I start looking for them and they start driving me crazy, but I can't find them. Why can't I find them? I have to clear them off. I don't like seeing notification dot. Go down. Keep going, yeah. Keep going down, yeah. 2 weeks ago, 1 month ago. That's right, it did not respond. That's why it's showing. So go clear it off. The mortification. While some ghosting I did was deliberate, like I lost interest, I didn't want to talk to them anymore, I don't know, but those were deliberate. Especially this one is for story time, but especially the time I actually ghosted a blind date that a family friend of ours set me up on. Yeah, that one is for another story time. That one is for another day. We'll leave that story for another time. But it was so funny. I ghosted that poor guy that up to now I kind of still feel guilty about it, but let's just say another thing I experienced was my inability to keep eye contact. Like, I don't know if other ADHDers actually experienced this, but I'm unable to keep eye contact with people for long. Like, I don't know if other people experience it, but I don't like it. It's not like I just don't like it. I don't like keeping eye contact with people, and I experienced that all my life, and I just thought, yeah, okay, maybe I'm just very shy or introverted, which I am. I'm an ADHD who is extremely introverted, that I actually wanted to test for autism to see if I had autism as well as ADHD, but I've not really had the courage to go at it because I have enough problem just dealing with the fact that I have ADHD in my country. We don't even believe in stuff like that. The last thing I need is to add ADHD to the mix. So sorry guys, they are cleaning, so it might be a little bit noisy because of the cleaning sound, but I'm still gonna go ahead and say what I have to say because that's not gonna stop me. Oh god, I hate noise. Another thing, I absolutely hate noise. That is one of the reasons why I cannot do without my Bluetooth earpod. It just blocks here and prevents loud or irritating noises from getting to me. Like, I can't do without it. It just blocks the noises, the irritation, the noises, the loud sounds. It blocks everything out, and I'm sensitive to noise. It's crazy. Another thing I did all my life was constant fidgeting. I had this fidgeting I do with my hands or my knees, if I can't do any of that, I constantly fidget. I move my knees anywhere I am. In church, at work, below my desk. If you look, you will see my legs moving. Or if I can't do that, maybe I'm trying to control the way or someone told me to stop it, I'll be using my hands. And then if they told me to stop that, I'll be like fiddling with this place. This is why I have lots of this. Yeah, I didn't know that was also an ADHD trait. I just thought that was me being a weirdo. That's what I thought. I thought I was just a weirdo. That's why I did that a lot. Even the fidgeting, I thought it was just me being a freaking weirdo, an impatient weirdo. Did not know that was an ADHD trait. That trait I experienced was my inability to hear or understand what people were saying to me. Like, most of the time, they are not even that far from me, and what they are saying is not even that complex. But they might be telling me, give me that thing on your desk, and I'll be like, huh? You say? Can't hear you. Come again. And then they can repeat it like 4 times or 5 times before I actually get what they were trying to say. At this point, it's embarrassing, and at this point, all my colleagues at work are just saying, yeah, I think she has a hearing problem. And be like, oh, don't you know, Tessa can't actually hear very well. That's their conclusion. I can't hear very well. How do I say it? They are thinking I have a hearing defect. I'd be like, oh, she can't hear very well. So they are used to like repeating things 4 times for me to actually be able to understand what they are saying. But it's so embarrassing to keep saying, huh? What do you say? Repeat what you say. And at some point, what I just do is that whenever someone says something, I catch some few words, and maybe if it's supposed to be funny, I just laugh. I laugh and I go, ha ha ha. And sometimes they were not expecting me to laugh. It's an unexpected response from me. And I'll be like, huh. I'll just like pretend like that never happened, or that was not me. I'll be like, and then I'll keep quiet and turn away. Or other times, I got this favorite phrase I used to say. I'm still saying it up to now because I still can't hear you. So all I just said was, it is well. Low. What do you mean it is well? Say something. I can't hear you, and I'm too embarrassed to keep saying, huh? What did you say? I'm too embarrassed. Enough. Please leave me alone. I've never really told people at work that I have ADHD. I mean, I mentioned it once to a single colleague of mine, but she has not told anyone, and I've not told others that I have ADHD. I don't know. I live in a country where mental disorder, and other disorders are not really accepted. Like, I think I'm the only one who has actually boldly come out and said, on YouTube, I don't know, from my country, I said, I have ADHD, this is my symptom, this is what I'm going through, this is what I'm experiencing. Others are not willing. Like, any country, any of my people I tell, oh, I have ADHD, they think, they'll be like, are you okay? Have you prayed about it? Did you ask God? Be like, have you gone to church? Oh, what makes you think you have ADHD? No, there's a white man's something now. It's not something we have. What is hate? No, it's for white people, it's not for us. And I'm like, what? Funny enough, in my country it is more prevalent than you think. Like, about 70 to 80% of women in my country has some form of mental disorder or the other. Like, is it bipolar, dyslexia, autism? I had an uncle who had autism. Like, it's so rampant in my country, yet because of the lack of awareness or the lack of acceptance, they refuse. Whenever I tell people, I'm going to therapy, and they're like, what? Why? For what? Are you crazy? Why are you going to therapy? Like, go to church, pray about it. So why are you going to therapy? Oh God, it's Lord. Oh, my country, they are precious. And a little crazy, but they refuse to accept it. I try to make it a mission of mine to spread awareness of mental health issue and mental disorder around me. Like, I try to open up about it one step at a time. I try to make myself open to anybody who actually need help or advice. Know that this is someone they can come to ask questions, and should willingly answer any question they have or willingly help them. Even if I live in a country like this, I try to make it known that I am active on this. I'm passionate about mental health, and I want you to be able to come to me when it comes to people with mental health issues or people suffering. I'm an empath, so I'm able to help them. Right? I made myself an open door for people who need help to be able to come to me for help, or just to talk, or just to see a caring face or hear a caring voice. And I'm actually proud of that. I'm actually proud of the fact that especially on WhatsApp, I'm actually proud of the fact that someone can just tag me, or go to my DM and then just tell me about what they are going through, and I'll just talk to them, give them love, advise them, and just send them hugs and just be there for them. I'm actually happy and proud about that. And if anyone listening to me also needs help, or wants someone to talk to, or just wants someone who will listen and understand, my WhatsApp DM is always open, and you can contact me. I'll put my WhatsApp on my channel description, and you can always come to me whenever you need a friendly face or loving voice to listen to you or talk to you. So moving on from that, leading on to my next point, another thing I absolutely hated was small talk. Absolutely hated, still hate extremely till today. I hate small talk. Please just tell me, is it a yes or is it no? And don't tell me long stories. Just give me the short, condensed version of it. Just go straight to the point. This is one of the reasons why I find it hard to watch many YouTube videos, because whenever I'm watching a YouTube video and the actor goes and the creator goes, let me tell you one thing that you do that would help you, and then the actor go, so I did this, I did it. I'm like, please just tell me the one thing so I can leave. Stop telling me you did 1 million things at the same time before you get to the thing. Just tell me the thing, please. I hate long stories. It drives me crazy. Another thing I did a lot, and I still do, is actually forget where I'm going to. I'll be walking on the road now, and then I'll be thinking of whatever I'm thinking. Thinking of my adventure, thinking of the roads I want to take, the things I want to do. I'll be thinking of 1 million things at the same time, not knowing I have passed the turn I was supposed to take. That's right. And by the time I stop thinking and come to realization and look around me, and I'll be like, when did I get here? Where was I supposed to take? Oh my God, I left the road I was supposed to take behind me, and then I'll now have to turn back and start tracing my way back. This happens a lot. The day before yesterday, I went to the market. It happened. Yesterday, it happened. Like, it's now a part of my life, and there's nothing I can do about it. All in all, I just see this as just the fun, quirky part of myself. And when I got diagnosed 2 years ago, I now found out this was because I had ADHD. And then when I started watching videos, other ADHDers, I was like, oh my god. So this was not just me. There is a whole lot of people out there with a name, ADHDers. Oh my god. Oh wow. Okay, so I'm not just weird or unique. Well, in my country, I'm seen as weird. I call myself unique. They call me weird. But then I came to YouTube and I found lots of other people like me. Lots of people, and I became so happy. And I told myself, I'm going to create YouTube videos, going to try and connect with other people out there who had ADHD. Anyway, I had fun making this video talking about my experience of the ADHD traits I experienced before I got diagnosed. I mean, I'm still experiencing them now. I mean, it's kind of hard for me, but I guess all the other ADHDers who watch on YouTube say I should see it as a ADHD superpower, ADHD this. I mean, it's hard. My brain gets exhausted. I get lots of headaches, and it's a struggle. But I am happy that I'm not the only one going through it, and I'm happy that whenever I come to YouTube, I get to see other people going through the same thing. I get to see other people experiencing the same thing, and I get to comment on their videos, and I just get to watch and see the struggle and how they're handling it. It's a lot, but thank you for listening to this whole long ass stories. I hope you come back to listen to more long ass stories from me because I'm going to be trying to put up frequent content about what I do, what I experience, how I manage ADHD at work. Bye. See you next time. Please don't forget to subscribe. Thank you very much.